Zach Bryan seems like a true blue, red-blooded American country singer, but the truth is that Zach was actually born in Japan. Zach comes from a military background, and his parents were stationed in Okinawa, Japan, where Zach was born in April 1996. His dad is a U.S. Navy veteran, and Zach's grandfather, uncles, and great-grandfather all served in the Navy as well. His parents eventually returned to the States after serving 10 years in Japan. They settled in Ulaga, Oklahoma, and that's where Zach grew up. Zach enlisted in the Navy at a really young age. He was just 17 years old. Zach must have had no clue that his future would be country music fame and major country music awards. He served in the Navy for 8 years before he made a life-changing announcement on Instagram. In October 2021, Zach posted a message that he had received an honorable discharge from the Navy, and his post explained why. Zach wrote that being in the Navy was all he had lived, slept, and ate since he was a 17-year-old kid. He said that the Navy life had truly made a man of him. According to Zach, his life experience in the Navy included running with some big dogs and seeing a few fights, and he felt honored to have got the chance to serve alongside some of the best men and women he was ever blessed enough to meet. Zach claimed that if he had to decide his future, he would have never left the world's greatest Navy. But he wrote, "Here I am, and they kindly, honorably discharged me to go play some music." Zach also admitted in his post, "Can't tell if I'm a coward or I'm chasing my dream." He wrote, "Regardless, the best 8 years of my life were spent serving the best country in the whole damn world." Zach's highest ranking in his naval career was aviation ordnanceman 2nd class. Before he landed in Washington State, Zach served at a naval base in Florida. He also did international tours of duty in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the African country of Djibouti. Zach's debut album was released in 2019, 2 years before his honorable discharge from the military. He still didn't seem to know what the future held, and when it came to making his debut album, Zach even confessed in an interview, "To be honest, we thought it was going to be a huge flop." Zach spent a couple of months writing songs for his debut album. He recorded the tracks with some friends at an Airbnb in Florida. Shockingly, the recording process only took 48 hours. And even though Zach was sure the album would be a public failure, his debut, called Dean, was still hugely important to him because he named the album after his mom, Annette Dean Bryan. She passed away on August 3rd, 2016, and in her obituary, it said that Annette loved being a certified nursing assistant, and she enjoyed listening to her son play the guitar. The reason why Annette passed away remains private to the Bryan family, but Zach has said that the heartbreaking and personal song Godspeed on the Dean album is one of the most meaningful songs he's ever written. Before his discharge, Zach was stationed in Washington State. He even shot a low-tech video for his song Heading South outside his Navy barracks there. Zach used a cell phone to shoot his video in nearly 100-degree heat. Shockingly, millions of country music fans viewed that low-budget video production on streaming platforms. But even when Zach shot that cheap video and put it out there, allegedly, he still wasn't trying to build a music career. It was more like a hobby that he enjoyed with his Navy buddies. Although Zach has confessed something, it was a dream that he kept secret. Zach told host Kaylee Bannon on today's country radio that he's always wanted to be a writer. He said, "I'm writing every morning when I wake up." Zach said that some people enjoy watching sports or playing golf, but writing is what feels most natural to him. He also thought he wasn't destined for a music career because the first 100 songs he wrote were terrible. Zach told Kaylee he was trying to figure out how to make poems, and when it came to composing melodies for his songs, Zach claimed the melody part threw him for a loop. He said it took 8 years, pretty much his entire time in the Navy, of writing lyrics and melodies before he figured out how songwriting works. Zach said, "I believe the best songs are written after the best living is done." And for Zach, the best living once included Elizabeth Rose Madden. She was Zach's first wife, and she goes by Rose. But Zach and Rose were only married for 1 year. Zach met Rose in the Navy, where she formerly served as a naval aviator. Rose attended Arizona State University before transferring to Ohio University. She studied aerospace engineering and received a degree in aviation. Then she joined the Navy and was stationed at the Whidbey Island Naval Air Station in Washington State, where she met Zach. Zach and Rose started dating, and on August 19th, 2020, Zach made a surprising announcement on social media. He apologized to a fan online for replying so late to a post. Zach wrote, "Yeah, sorry brother, had to get married, that's my bad." Rose and Zach's wedding was complicated due to COVID restrictions, but they managed to get a small group together, and in July 2020, this small wedding party hiked up a mountain overlooking Colchuck Lake in Leavenworth, Washington. Their wedding photographer was Brady Bates, and he took stunning photos of Zach and Rose. But those photos are pretty rare now for an unfortunate reason, since it was over for Rose and Zach practically before their first wedding anniversary. The reason why Rose and Zach divorced so quickly has remained a mystery, but both wiped all traces of each other off their social media accounts. Rose also took a break from social media. Whatever the real truth is, Rose later reappeared on social media to make a shocking confession. Her side of the story was she'd chosen not to discuss her personal life on social media because she thought that Zach's fans would turn against her. Zach has faced other controversies in his dating life that blew up into rumors, but he continues to say that he wasn't cut out to be a big country music star. In September 2022, there was a big profile on Zach in the New York Times. He said, "People feel entitled to be famous and rich." And I'm like, dude, you could be digging ditches, bro. Hopefully Zach will continue to be a songwriter, and his personal life will take a back seat, because songwriting has always been Zach's dream job, and he's worked hard to succeed in it.